everyone! Welcome back to some more Tyranny. It's time to rest. And then talk to Lantry.
At your service.
Let's discuss current matters.
Of course. How can I help? Kairos has dubbed this land the Blade Grave. The term Realm of Stalwart is no longer to be used in official record. Of course. How can I help? Are you asking for an objective assessment? Or is this your way of saying you want to gossip? He is a proper Northman, with duty in his blood, which makes me suspect his loyalty to Ash is stronger than his loyalty to you. As long as your interests remain aligned to Graven Ash, this shouldn't be an issue. I must admit, I am completely fascinated by his predicament. Ever tried diagramming the articulations of his armor? Don't. It'll only lead to madness and ruination.
I like that.
I know
Apparently
little
he's
of
got
swordplay,
voice
and
lines.
couldn't work a curve and arrow to save my life. I can't really comment on the lady.
Lady, you're just afraid to talk in front of me, clear as day. Your sweat is easier to read than your ink scribbles.
No, not at all. I just don't know how to comment on a warrior's worth, that's all.
Spare me your blather. Think that, do you? Didn't know you had such swollen hope for me.
No need to keep your
A
secrets.
most fascinating specimen. I think she has great potential. A dangerous amount of potential, to be blunt. The Scarlet Furies are the fighting elite of the Scarlet Chorus, and that means floating to the top of a sea of blood and chum. We should consider ourselves lucky to have her on our side, with her weapons usually pointed away from us.
Okay.
Good tidecasters stay underwater. Kairos did the Tears a favor by erasing those moon howlers from history. A shame one of them escaped justice.
Damn.
She has her uses, as does any thug or brigand. I just hope you have some means of keeping her in control the day she thinks herself strong enough to take us. Aggressive, homicidal, and best kept on a long leash with a longer whip? I'm a poor judge of beasts. I've known so few, and none resemble the scribes and scholars to which I'm accustomed. But there's a blunt honesty to her that I rather enjoy. She wants to bask in your power and makes no excuses for the self-interested nature of her loyalty to you. Such refreshing transparency is rare in humans.
It's also rare to get this much spoken dialogue. What the heck?
I am nothing if not a semi-reliable font of knowledge. What did you want to discuss?
But I'm not a very fascinating subject. I study interesting people. Enough to know I'm not one of them. What's your story? Oh, come on. We were doing so well with the voices. Someday, someone half your age will ask you to sum up your life, and you'll realize what an odious request that is. Well, where to start? I grew up in Sunder. I was born right after the independence from the realm of Stalwart, so yeah, do the math and you realize I'm old. In a treaty that ended with the firm stipulation that Sunder chose to leave, and that Stalwart did not lose a civil war, the free city of Sunder marks 347 TR as its year of independence. He's pretty spry for 84. 84? My parents were harbor hands, my mother never returned from a voyage, and my father lost his hand to infection and decided to sell me to the School of Ink and Quills. Irrelevant. If they exist, they are as strangers. Family ties are severed when joining the Sages. At least in principle. The school has had its share of favoritism for blood relatives. As a novice, I was assigned to the Devocatus, where I learned how to raise and groom birds to carry missives, and most of my early tomes are on that subject. 10 years and several tomes later, someone decided I was ready to be welcomed into the inner circle and shown the ways of magic. And since then, I've spent a great deal of time in field study, which I suppose readied me for life after the fall of the Vellum Citadel. Well, as much as anything could ready one for the strangest of these days. Most sages take a new name when they join the school, but for me the transition was difficult at first. I stuck to my old commoner name and then just never got around to picking some highfalutin name like Sage Apophysis or Sage Dangling Participle. Okay. Is this your true Skyne? Did you always want to be a... what? Not actually familiar with that word. I cannot imagine doing anything different. I suppose in my youngest days I yearned for battle and glory like most boys I knew. Having now seen how short a soldier's life can be, I look back on that old calling, that old mindset, and laugh. What do you mean by that? I know you're smarter than you act. Extend me the same courtesy. Lantry strokes his beard, leaving flecks of sepia among his white whiskers. I was on the take from the Voices of Narat, or at least an agent of his sent me to the School of Ink and Quill 30 years back. It'd be years later until I made the connection to the Archon. Oh. Most people think the war began 3 years ago, but the Voices of Narat had his hands in things sooner than that. I was part of that early invasion, an eager kid happy to accept the 30-year assignment that comes with an education. Well, I should admit, I might have been taking an interest in your history since I learned about your proclamation of the Edict of Storms. In truth, I am deeply curious about any who have lived as vessels to Kairos' most supreme magic. When I heard you were proclaiming a second edict, I had to find a way for us to meet. Being tied up in a prisoner camp was not the intended plan. So you advocating surrender to Kairos was the end of your long plan? Yes and no. When I first left, I was just happy to be getting educated by the sages on someone else's rings, and my orders were simply to listen and report. As the time drew near, my commands were to win them over, a little at a time, to the notion of surrender. But I failed. The elders of the school grew defiant, and the militant minds won out. These are tearsmen, after all. I didn't deliver the surrender, and it took the Overlord's edict to end what I was sent to do. Interesting. No more secrets. I will endeavor to earn your trust as best I can. Sorry to have given you reason for doubt. How do you feel about Kairos? I've seen what tiny despots, merchants, cabals, and mage guilds can inflict in the names of all sorts of righteous causes. I will take the rule of Kairos over the tyranny of every idiot on Tyranny. Okay.
I am nothing if not a semi-reliable font of knowledge, and I'd be happy to oblige. Ever since the fall of the Vellum Citadel, it is hard to find someone with whom I can discuss such things.
It's so odd how some lines are voiced and others aren't. Like within the same kind of chain of conversation. It's just, anyway. Like right here. Kairos has cast many over the ages, and to my knowledge has never worded two edicts exactly the same. Edicts defy our understandings of magic. Kairos' magic works over vast distances, over indefinite durations, and no archon or mere mage can counter the force of an edict. I explain it to my students like this. A spell is to an edict as a drop of rain is to a hurricane. Edicts and spells are both magical cantrips, but differ in intensity by orders of magnitude. Edicts are almost commands to Tyranny that must be carried out until the instructions allow for the magic to end. If Kairos wants a plague until next Judge's Day, expect copious boo-boys? Until next Judge's Day. Copious boo-boys. Don't know that one. Nothing has ever dispelled an edict, nothing outside of the edict's own sunset clause, as I like to think of them. Sure. It seems like the Archons were about to kill each other, and the threat of mutual destruction was about all Kairos had left. I imagine fear is the only way to get someone like the Voices of Narat to follow orders, and the edict certainly did whip them into action. The Edict of Stone ravaged the realm of Azure. The upheaval of earth and rock turned the rolling plains into a craggy steppe known as the Stone Sea. Since the edict was directed at the traitorous Archon of Stone, it would seem the upheaval of Azure was a secondary consequence, though I imagine little of what Kairos does is unintentional. Okay. I was there when the ground erupted with fire, and I don't think I remember ever being as terrified as I was that day. If I hadn't woken early, I'd have likely perished in my sleep or awoken to the experience of being immolated. I have very conflicted feelings about this matter. The School of Ink and Quill had every opportunity to surrender. The leadership chose to stand against the most powerful force on Tyratus. While this is all very terrible, it was entirely preventable. You'll think me crazy, but there is a part of me saddened I lived through an Edict of Fire. Kairos has used this before. I figure if I'm going to have years taken off my life fleeing an edict, would have been nice if it was a historical first. Okay. I would think you know more than most on the subject. I watched with great interest when it happened, but fleeing the Edict of Fire was a more pressing concern. The Edict of Storms turned the once forested lands of Stalwart into a wind-swept wasteland. They call it the Blade Grave now, since only the iron and bronze armaments remain. Hurricane breezes, rust winds, and relentless lightning have destroyed the housings and farmland. Okay.
Edicts are the strongest manifestation of magic we know, and they seem to violate all other lesser phenomena. No dispel cantrip has ever dented or abated an edict. Even archons with powers of great durability cannot shrug off their effects. Just look at Cairn. Now, what I find curious, edicts can flex a little, or so my studies suggest this is the case. Take the Edict of Storms. While the day it was proclaimed was the most violent, the actual radius of the storm has changed over time. But most will have none of my hypotheses on this matter. So, in my studies, some edicts resolve some problem of the overlords and then vanish into history. But the edicts that linger around, almost all of them begin to widen. Their effects become more intense. Here's the intriguing part. The older the edict, and the more that's written about it, the more the reports of that edict get more dire over time. Something to that effect, at least. I contend that edicts are powered by fear. Fear of Kairos helps fuel the casting, and fear of the edict feeds the magic, sustaining it, and, if enough people fear it, even growing it a bit.
That's interesting.
The other sages have had little to comment on the subject. Most found the study of Kairos to be bad luck for whatever reason. Intellectual honesty demands that I study the matter more. If I'm correct, the more people fear and obsess over an edict, the stronger it becomes. Anyway, another study for another time. And I'd be happy to oblige. Ever since the fall of the Vellum Citadel, it is hard to find someone with whom I can discuss such things.
Okay. I've studied many of the Archons for many years. Compared to the other sages, I'm an expert on the subject, which is sad because I feel like I've still so much to learn. The Archons all have magical powers that are intuitive. When the voices of Narad pulls out someone's mind, or Graven Ash protects his soldiers, that magic isn't a signed spell or ritual. To them, it's closer to flexing one's hand. Archons are the... what's the word for it? Axiom of magic? The root of magic? Spell pioneers? While every guild and school of magic will ascribe different a name to the theory, all mages inevitably stumble upon an inescapable fact. Only the Archons can will magic into being. Everyone else can only cast magic by invoking the sigil of an Archon that has come before. None know how the Archons do their magic. Interesting. It seems to be different with each Archon, but theory suggests that once an Archon starts to invoke their powers, anyone else who comes after that Archon could tap into that power with the proper sigil and know-how. This observed law has given rise to a common question from young students. Could one guess at a sigil of an Archon not yet born, or not remembered by history or simply unknown to the caster, and successfully cast a spell? Experienced mystics would tell you this is impossible, for they know that it's not enough to just mimic the gestures of a sigil. One must have willful, conscious knowledge of the Archon and the intended power being channeled. Okay. Alright, I'm sure this analogy is off in many ways, but I see the Archons as the mothers of original magic, and everyone else is just imitating them. To confuse things a bit, some Archons learn to cast other spells in the same fashion as us lesser mages. If you are as important as an Archon, you learn quick that all knowledge is power. I've studied many of the Archons for many years. Oh, hold on. Are they all loyal to Kairos? Officially, yes. In actuality, no. Those with the true gift for magic always come to the attention of Kairos. A few manage to evade attention for a bit. The School of Tides was founded by one such uncontrollable, but these are history's exceptions. When we write biographies of the Archons, we often refer to them as exarchs in their formative years before stepping into their prime. But officially, Kairos is supposed to grant all titles of Archon. It's quite the faux pas to self-appellate. Okay. I think we all dream of one day waking up and being an Archon. Given some of the madmen and loons that have exhibited mystical greatness, it can seem unfair that the rest of us can't do it. I can say with confidence, Archons aren't born. They become. Graven Ash is a good study of this. Before he was the Archon of War, he was a successful commander, each victory more daring and glorious than the next. Somewhere along the way, his leadership took on mystical qualities. The Graven Ash we know today can reach out and protect his soldiers from harm, but maybe at first he could just protect those near him. I wouldn't know for certain, but all will attest that he didn't have this power his whole life.
And I'd be happy to oblige. Ever since the fall of the Vellum Citadel, it is hard to find someone with whom I can discuss such things.
Let's continue.
I am nothing
oops.
if not a semi-reliable font of knowledge. What did you want to discuss?
Well, okay, I guess we'll talk one more.
Well, you might want to ask a more soldierly type about the armies, but do you want to talk about the Archons or other mages?
I mean, we just kind of did talk about the Archons. Alright, let's learn about the Earthshakers. It takes a strange bird to wish to emulate Karen, Archon of Stone, but what do I know? A whole cult sprung up to worship the man. This cult became known as the Earthshakers Guild, and even their weak imitations of his magic can fill the land with tremors. Karen answered to Graven Ash, meaning the Earthshakers are military allies of the disfavored. At least that is how it was. Karen's treachery demanded retribution from Kairos, and this has destroyed the reputation of the Earthshakers Guild. Many assume a traitorous teacher would breed traitorous disciples. Okay. That's all for now. Reputation ability unlocked. Hey. The Wheel of Ages. The Fatebinder and Lantry work together to create a slowing aura around a party member. Foes within the range of the aura are slowed. When the party members move inside the aura, they will have their hostile effects suspended. Once per rest. Plateau. Target. For 30 seconds, minus 20 dodge, parry, action speed, move speed. Radius of 3 meters. And then we effects suspended for 3 seconds. Interesting. Okay. That seems pretty cool.
I got it.
Oh, wait. Whoops. I almost messed up. We gotta click on this. Okay. I'm assuming this just closes the door. Or not. That looks like a possible trap.
Interesting.
Alright. What do we got? A merchant's tunic. Ah, and another keystone. Okay.
On it.
And then we want to click this so we can get in there. Hello. wonder if he would walk into this trap.
Spotted something.
Yeah, you did. Okay. I don't want to do this. Okay, we're probably going to try... Yeah, we're going to try this. Wheel of Time around Barrick. Barrick, you're going to cast Spectral Blur on yourself. Let's cast Titan's Touch on Barrick. Oh, wait, right. You have to cast that with... Right.
On my command.
Alright, get in there, friend. We're going to try and daze these people as well. Actually, let's do Surge of Power. And then you're going to do Titan's Touch. Okay. No need to do Spectral Blur quite yet. No need for Iron Tolling.
I got it.
Poison.
I'll omit that from the record.
So far, so good. Unravel
Another
Mind.
scar? Fine. Oh, you're not going anywhere.
Man, that aura is pretty good.
I'll tear your skeleton out by your ass.
Cool.
On it.
Oh, wait. Right. That thing. Okay.
On it.
So how do we get in there? Well, I guess we go upstairs. Hello. Double hello. That looks like a potential trap or something.
Trouble. It's a foot.
Oh my goodness. Just engage, please. You just took so much damage.
You dent.
Holy crap.
Get back here.
Did that not go off? What the hell? Oh boy. Oh boy.
That one fucking hurts.
This fucking trap.
Shall we?
That one rattled me hard.
We should try that again.
crap. I think that's really going to save you at this point in time. That's just a revival. Tunnel burst?
We should try
Did it knock off again?
that again.
Oh, that one
There we go.
fucking hurt!
Can't do that.
I'll admit that from the record.
Hey. How many wounds are we looking at? One each? Okay.
Sorry, I can't.
Distant howls echo within this pit, which descends into darkness. When you crane your neck, you can barely make out the bane clustered at the bottom. Oh, great.
I could drop a vial of ink down and see how long it takes to hear it shatter.
I mean, you could. Ah, camping supplies. And potions. I already have one. You do too. Okay, well. You get another one. And let's drink up some water. Okay. Sigil of Directed Force. Wait, what? Directed impact. What? Wait. What's the one that we just got? Lore 70. Okay, so not all of these can use it. Okay, so this one can. Okay, Path of Frost. Cooldown 1 minute 30 seconds. Frost damage in a line. They're frozen for 9.2 seconds. Interesting. Mischievous Mass. Let's see. Frightened and blinded for 18 seconds. And then confused for 9. Ball lightning. So that doesn't have one. This does. Giant boulder. 20 to 28 crush damage. Knockdown. Frightened and blinded. Well, I mean, our character has Surge of Glory as well. And then... not the lightning one. We'll do the frost for you. Well... Maybe we should do the lightning and raise your control lightning skill, of which you have 42 right now. I doubt I can assign any of these sigils on it because that would bring this lore up way too high. Yeah. Okay, so we could get rid of... That one. Alright, cool. Very cool.
I'm old, not deaf. I heard you the first time.
45% chance on that. Oops. 25% on that one. But we could potentially hit them with this ball of lightning, which is kind of cool. Alright, let's buff. Let's all buff.
Come at.
I clearly saw that. I was trying to move back. Okay, and that almost killed him, which is cool. Ay, ay, ay.
Consider it done.
No, no, stop! Don't fucking move into a... What are you doing? Alright, now engage.
Will do.
That's not gonna hit anybody.
Damn.
Yeah, control lighting increase, nice.
I'm going
Okay, and he's dead.
down.
Excellent. Alright. Where's your body there, dude?
Consider it done.
Alright.
How it's done.
Ouch. Let's still at least give this a shot. Ow. Don't even... The AI should know. Don't walk in the trap, although it is damaging them. Switch to your bow.
Let's have it then.
No, no, stop with the... Just turn off your AI. And she's gone.
Dark all of a sudden.
Yeah, didn't though.
As you command.
On it.
Yeah, just keep hitting him.
On it.
I'll admit that.
Is your... It is...
From the record.
I got it.
Man, it's taking a while.
That's how it's done.
Right. On it.
Enough of this. My bedroll calls.
Good God. Seriously, man. If the party knows there's a trap, it's clearly marked. I mean, someone pointed out, like, hey guys, there's a giant trap there. I would like the AI to be overridden so that they don't run into traps. Or maybe just have that be a setting in this AI thing. Where it says, hey, do you want your party member to ignore traps, or what? But oh well, it's fine. We survived. That's going to do it for this episode, everybody. We kind of need to rest again. Good God, look at all these wounds. This is a brutal place. I will see you all next time. Take care.